I grew up on boats. You know, my first memories of being around my parents, Dad had a wood shop and he was building a boat, and then I can remember being out and we were always boating. It was a part of life, what was boating. I quit school actually to go racing and build cars. NASCAR was my new mistress. I was the chassis builder, and I was also, when we went to the races, I was the chassis tuner. So that's where those skills translated into what we're doing with our products today. The process of chassis building and the tuning had to do with interaction between the shocks and the springs and the sway bars. And we're doing the same thing. You know, we've got weight and we've got a situation, we've got high G-forces. So it's same, only different, as we say. Nobody done anything like this before. Nobody integrated the suspension and the controls. This will actually tilt in all of the axis. Forward, aft, side to side, pitch, yaw, up, down. All of those motions are dampened. We've come a long way. We just invested every cent we had in this boat and this new concept. And so we had to go out and prove it. When Bear first called, I was a flat no. And he'd found out about me through a client that we had in England to contact me. Yeah, we got thinking about it and thought, yeah, you know what, this makes perfect sense. This would solve a lot of problems if it didn't kill us. I really think it's important that you take risks. Without risk, there is no reward. It worked before. I was diagnosed in Canada with a disease that I was told was incurable, or 2 years later, I was cured. Wasn't in that great a shape, but I was cured, and I took a very, very high risk. I took medications that had never been tried before. It's the same thing with what we've done with suspension. It was the same thing that we did with this ice console. Nobody'd done anything like that before. It packed 4,000 liters, which is 1,000 gallons US. So it's a 33-foot aluminum jet ski packed with gasoline. It was scary to look at before it had the collars on it. The whole Northwest Passage risk thing, it just fell into part of the whole deal that, it's going to be really risky, but let's look at the rewards of this. Let's look at where that's going to get us at the end of it. And this was just part of it. It just seemed to flow into that thing. We've got to do this. We have a new product. We've got to sell it to a new market. The military needs us. People have got to bring their kids home. The world needs it. But the whole thing is, it's so new, it's so radical. Nobody's really buying it. They're not picking up what we're putting down. They're thinking that this is a novelty. And this thing saved our lives. We trucked the boat to Newfoundland, across Canada. We were right on a very, very tight time schedule at that time.
The driver had to put his computer into it and reset the software, and then his brakes came back. So let's hope we don't have to do that again.
In Newfoundland, we were going to install the rest of the componentry that we needed and intercept some spare parts to unload the boat. And we needed a place to work on it. Tommy's name came up because he had the best place in Newfoundland as far as what's going on with inflatable boats. He's got an inflatable boat center, and so it was great. We went over to use his shop, and then we didn't realize that part of the bargain was that we got this guy that was a genius as far as survival on the Atlantic coast, had all of these contacts,
They've got everybody, they got Cartwright taken care of for accommodations and fuel.
Okay, that's probably at Woody Lethbridge's hotel there.
Okay, Nain, we got fuel so far, they need accommodations. Pinkerton, we need accommodations and fuel.
It's only 2 bedroom, but
That's okay.
I'm sure you guys are being crammed up there anyway.
It beats the Zodiac, that's for sure.
And knew the survival industry and these survival boats. Was able to give us that kind of education that we needed to give us confidence to move forward.
Climb up on your bottom, and you get up right here, and you're going to pull the raft over. As the raft comes over, it's going to come over on top of you. Never go back that way. Go away your head's facing. Come out this side without kicking your feet. Now your raft is back up again, you swim back out, right up inside the raft.
You know, we're ready.
Yeah,
But the heat,
quite nauseous,
Yeah.
claustrophobic.
the claustrophobic certainly, yeah.
And you can feel the heat going up in
Can't
here
you?
already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
already.
it's quite warm.
Yeah, that's quite comforting though, I guess, for us. But yeah, so that's the room for four. This is a 4-person. This is 4 men in this, you know.
Oh God!
The type of that sauce smell.
Yeah, that's Captain Smith for you.
Yeah, Newfoundland was a very interesting place. And if you've never been to Newfoundland, you should go. Newfoundland and Labrador. The people are fantastic, as were a lot of the people that we met along the way. That was one of the highlights of the journey, was the people.
No, but goddamn, I like to see her when you get her in the water and I fucking open her up. I like to see that go. And I know if that can't fucking scared. Should go well.
The banter between them is absolutely priceless.
When I grew up, I called my father the old man all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's not a bad term. That's a real term of respect.
Yeah. My father never ever did mind. Some people do. But
No,
he
no,
never
but
ever
just because like you in the Navy, that's what they like, big submarine commander and all that stuff. That's what they call them.
And the attitude and the warmth and the friendliness is something that I'll carry with me forever.
Now boys, here's the Newfoundland.
Here's to Newfoundland.
And a safe trip.
Here's to Tommy and Sandy, huh? I tell you. And Rod. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's smooth. We really want to thank those people. They set us off on the right track. Without them, it would have been a very, very different trip, because we didn't know it, but we were headed for doom and danger, and I mean it for real.